Truck makers are locked in a secret war. A war over one single number: horsepower. Every single year, they battle to build the most powerful truck on the planet. A machine that can drag an almost unbelievable amount of weight down the highway like it weighs nothing at all. So today, I am counting down my list of the most powerful trucks in the world, from number 5 all the way up to number 1. And by the end, I will show you the current king, a truck so strong it ripped the crown right off the head of the old champion. Let's get into it. First, real quick, what do we even mean by power? It comes down to two things: horsepower, which is basically how fast a truck can move all that weight, and torque, which is the raw muscle that gets a massive, fully loaded trailer rolling from a dead stop and then drags it up a steep hill. Think of it like this. Horsepower is your speed once you are already flying down the open road. Torque is the brute strength just to get moving in the first place. For a truck pulling 80,000 pounds or more, torque is absolute king. A truck can have all the horsepower in the world, but without big torque, it is almost useless under a heavy load. The really great trucks have both, in huge amounts. And at the very top of this list, those numbers honestly start to sound a little insane. But hold on, you might be wondering, why does a truck even need 700 or 800 horsepower in the first place? Honestly, great question. Most of the time, cruising on a flat highway, it does not. The real reason is the brutal stuff. Steep mountain passes, massive, overweight loads, and nowhere shows this off like Australia. Out in the Australian outback, there are trucks called road trains that pull not one, not two, but 3 or even 4 giant trailers at once. We are talking well over 100 tons of weight, hauled across hundreds of miles of empty, baking desert. Some of them stretch more than 50 meters from nose to tail, longer than a blue whale. That is where huge power truly earns its keep, because out there, a weak truck simply would not survive. The heat is punishing, the loads are enormous, and the nearest help can be hundreds of miles away. So no, all this power is not just for show. When the road turns brutal, it is exactly what keeps everything moving. Now, quick thing before we start. This is my ranking based on raw power and reputation. You might see it completely differently, and honestly, that is half the fun. So once we are done, drop your own number 1 down in the comments. And if you love big trucks, do me a quick favor, tap that like button and hit subscribe. Alright, let's start the countdown. At number 5, the American Big Rigs. And here is something that genuinely surprises a lot of people. The strongest mainstream American truck engines, legends like the Cummins X15 and the Detroit, put out somewhere around 600 horsepower. And if you were sitting there thinking, wait, that sounds lower than I expected, well, you were right. Because American trucks were never really built to win a horsepower contest in the first place. They were built for torque, for toughness, and for running 1,000,000 miles across wide open country without ever complaining. These engines make monster torque, often well over 2,000 pound-feet, and they are made to be torn down and rebuilt again and again over decades of hard work. A real American trucker does not brag about horsepower numbers. He brags about the miles his rig has racked up and how it is still pulling strong. So they land at number 5 on raw power, but do not for 1 second think these trucks are weak. They are the toughest, most stubborn workhorses on this entire list. Out on a 1,000-mile haul across wide open country, that kind of toughness is worth far more than any flashy number on a brochure. At number 4, we cross over to Europe, where the horsepower numbers really start to climb. First up is Mercedes-Benz, with a truck pushing around 625 horsepower. Mercedes builds these things to be smooth, refined, and absolutely packed with technology, the kind of truck that feels more like a luxury machine than a work tool. It is seriously powerful, seriously comfortable, and a real favorite across the highways of Europe. Climb inside one, and it feels less like a work truck and more like a high-tech lounge that happens to weigh 40 tons. A few years ago, that kind of power would have put it near the very top of the entire world. But trust me, this list is about to get a whole lot wilder. At number 3, we stay right in Germany with MAN. Their top truck climbs even higher, to around 640 horsepower. MAN has a long reputation for tough, dependable, hard-working trucks, and this one brings serious muscle to back it up. And they're not alone up here either. Other European names like DAF and Iveco are right in this same fight, all building strong, modern, powerful machines. But the top 2 spots on my list, they are not even close to the rest of the pack. And, funny enough, both of them come from the same tiny, freezing little country, Sweden. And these two Swedish giants have been at each other's throats for decades. Scania and Volvo have spent years trading the title of most powerful truck on Earth back and forth, over and over. One builds a stronger engine, and within a year or two, the other fires right back with something even bigger. It is like a heavyweight boxing match that simply never ends. And with every single round, the trucks get more and more insane. Right now, we are watching the very latest punch land. So let's meet the two champions. At number 2, a genuine legend, the Scania V8. And to be exact, the Scania 770. That name is not random at all. It stands for 770 horsepower, pouring out of a massive, roaring V8 engine. Now here's the thing. Scania has been building its famous V8 since all the way back in 1969. And over the decades, that engine became a kind of status symbol, the truck you slowly earn your way up to. Owning a Scania V8 quietly tells the whole truck stop that you have finally made it. And from 2020 onward, the 770 was the undisputed champion, the single most powerful production truck on Earth. Drivers all over the world dream about owning one, and that deep, unmistakable V8 growl is pure music to their ears. You can pick a Scania V8 out of a crowd with your eyes closed, just from the sound of it rolling past. There is honestly nothing else on the road that sounds quite like it. In fact, it is so loved that there is an American trucker, Bruce Wilson, who went to incredible lengths just to import one of these all the way to Tennessee, simply to own it, in a country where you cannot even officially buy them. That alone tells you how much this machine means to people. The Scania 770 is, without any doubt, one of the greatest trucks ever built. But it is not the champion anymore, because in 2024, its oldest rival knocked it clean off the throne. Which brings us all the way to number 1, the most powerful production truck in the entire world today, the Volvo FH16 780. In early 2024, Volvo rolled out a brand new 17-liter engine, making a jaw-dropping 780 horsepower, with a colossal wall of torque to go with it, around 3,800 Newton-meters. Volvo proudly called the new engine a masterpiece, and it can even run on cleaner biofuel. It also packs serious engine braking power, so it can hold a massive load back on a long, steep descent without ever cooking the brakes. Now, that is just 10 more horsepower than the mighty Scania, but in a war this close, 10 horsepower is everything. With that one single move, Volvo snatched the crown right back and became the new king of the road. And remember, this title has bounced back and forth for years. Volvo held it, then Scania grabbed it in 2020 with the 770, and now, in 2024, Volvo has yanked it right back again. Just imagine that for a second. Nearly 800 horsepower in a single truck, enough to drag a fully loaded trailer up a steep mountain like it is barely even there. And here is the little detail I absolutely love. The old champion and the brand new champion, the two most powerful trucks on the entire planet, both come from that same tiny country, Sweden, a cold little nation of forests and snow, sitting right at the very top of the truck world. Now, one honest little twist before we wrap up. There is technically one truck out there that claims even more, a Chinese truck said to make somewhere around 800 horsepower. But here's the catch. It is not really sold here in the West, and it simply has not earned the same trust, track record, or reputation as the European giants. And in trucking, reputation is everything. Because a truck is only worth something if you can count on it, year after year, mile after mile. So the real, proven horsepower crown still sits firmly in Sweden's hands. For now, anyway. Because you can bet your last dollar that Scania is already locked away in a workshop somewhere, quietly cooking up its answer. This war is far from over. So that is my top 5. America builds the tough, do-anything workhorses that run forever. Germany brings serious, refined power. And right now, Sweden rules the very top, with Volvo's 780 just barely edging out Scania's 770. But honestly, let me leave you with one real truth from the road. The most powerful truck is not always the best truck. Out in the real world, reliability, comfort, and saving fuel often matter a whole lot more than bragging rights ever will. But man, those bragging rights sure are fun to have. And every single year, that top number creeps a little higher. So the champion today might be old news by next year. So now I want to hear from you. Forget my ranking for a second. What is your number 1? The screaming Scania V8? The record-breaking Volvo? Or a big American rig that just refuses to die no matter what the numbers say? Maybe you would put them in a completely different order than I did. That is exactly what the comments are for. Drop your own list down below and tell me why. I read every single one. And that is the Power Countdown. If you enjoyed this one, tap that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the trucks shaping the road ahead. Until next time, stay safe out there.